Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lara, or Lara Likes Mascara, and today's video is going to be one that I film every couple of months. It is a decluttering / empties video, and so I'm going to be talking you through all of the products that I have unfortunately decided to declutter in the past 2 months, or products that I have finished in the past 2 months. And I think today, I have good news today. I have predominantly empties. I like to think that I always have more empties than declutters because I like to actually get through my collection. But today, I feel like it's very nearly all empties. So happy about that, and let's just get into it. I do have kind of a fall look going on. I've got this deep purple bodysuit and a dark lip and sort of fall tones on my eyes. And it's not because I'm like one of those people who's like, oh, I can't wait for like crispy fall weather and the change of seasons. I'm just generally very excited for September because I have a lot of things to look forward to in my life. And also this bodysuit, I've decided to declutter it because there's like rips in the lace. Very sad. I don't think it can be fixed. I've been on a real clothing decluttering vibe lately. I've been shopping quite a bit this summer, and that has propelled me to declutter old stuff, mostly posting it on Buns or bringing it to clothing swaps. And yeah, I'm just feeling very excited and invigorated by all the decluttering I'm doing. So anyways, I figured I would match my lip with that. Yeah, enough blabbering on. I thought this was going to be a quick intro, but of course I am not capable of that. But let's get into it. Today, I'm covering both makeup and hair, skincare, body care, and I think I'm going to start with makeup because that's the most exciting part, and I'm really happy with how many makeup empties I have from the last 2 months, so cut to it. This month, or the past 2 months, was big on face products and also lip products. Those things turned out coincidentally. So first, very exciting. It's funny because I do these videos every 2 months, and so by the time I actually sit down and film the video, sometimes the products that I talk about, I've been done them for up to like a month and a half. So this particular one, I feel like it's been so long since I used it because it probably has been about a month and a half. But this is the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. This is one of the products that was from the before times, pre Makeup No Buy, pre going cruelty free. So I've had it for a long time. This was the second tube container of this that I purchased because I really loved it the first time around. By the time I got to, halfway through this one, I was like, this is not really my makeup preference anymore, this very thick matte concealer look, but of course I was gonna make my way through it. So yeah, it's a great concealer for sure. It just doesn't necessarily fully match my makeup preferences anymore, and MAC still unfortunately is not cruelty free. But I'm very happy to have gotten this out because particularly towards the last I don't know, 5th or even 10th, it seemed like it would never end. I was like, how is this still going? There's this much left and you're still not done? I don't get it. Also, this says on the container 6 months, 6 months expiration date. Oh, it does smell a little bit now, but it never smelled while I was using it. So that is interesting, but glad that I finished it now, at least before it started to smell. Makeup expiration dates, that's a whole other thing that I've covered in other videos, so I will link my recent makeup hot takes / controversial takes right here. But yes, done this concealer. Let's go over to a makeup declutter. So this one, unfortunately, I sort of felt like I was forced to declutter it because of how long I've had it, and I really did like it, but I was just getting a little bit nervous about how it was looking. It's got all of these little bumps on it, and people have said, oh, that's normal, and that's happened to that product even if I didn't have it that long, but I just felt better getting rid of it. I really do like the shade on me, even though it's super dark. I feel like dark bronzer is the only way that bronzer is effective on me. Otherwise, there's not really much point to it. But I made a deal with myself that when I hit pan on this, I would declutter it. And so that's what I've decided to do. Probably should say what it's called. This is the e.l.f. Contouring Blush and Bronzing Powder, if it is your first time on this channel. I did entirely pan the blush in this, which I liked much more than the bronzer. So it's time to say goodbye to this. I'm not going to be decluttering to someone else. I'm just going to be getting rid of the product because it is too old for me to feel comfortable with that. But I'm glad to finally get this out because look how large this thing was, and it just wasn't satisfying that when I finished the blush I wasn't able to say goodbye to it. This was still kicking around. So yes, happy that that will be gone and not taking up space in my makeup vanity collection anymore. Okay, some more face products. If you do watch my Project Pan series, you will have seen this, so I'll just discuss it quickly. But basically, I was trying out a bunch of samples. Cali Ray, love this. MAC, somewhat enjoyed this, but it's not cruelty free. And Danessa Myricks, really did not like this. These were, well, I guess they were all foundations. Yeah, well, the Danessa Myricks one might have been a concealer. I honestly can't even remember. And I'm just glad to have gotten these out of my collection because none of them are the right shade, so I ended up just mixing them together or mixing in other products to achieve the right shade, and it was just getting, like, annoying. It honestly feels like such a relief now to just, like, use a regular foundation, like just a simple product. I was mixing them in this little Lush container, which is very handy. I will definitely be keeping this for in the future if I ever have to do that again, but I just didn't really want to be using samples anymore. So I made it my goal to finish them up, at least the ones I could, and then I traded the rest on buns, and yeah, I'm glad that that is done. Okay, one more declutter, and then the rest of these are all empties. So pretty good. I think I talked about this in my Graveyard Project Pan. Yeah, so a lot of previews on these items if you do watch my other series. This is just like a sparkly eyeshadow, basically, slash eyeliner. And it's all dried up. I did try to revive it. It didn't work. It works like a tiny, tiny bit, but don't feel like it's eye safe anymore. So it was time to get rid of this remaining sparkly eyeshadow eyeliner in my collection. Silver, I don't use silvers, grays, anything like that, so happy to have that out. I will show a picture of what I look with this on. Just not a good look. Not a good look on me at all. Oh, just kidding, there's one more makeup declutter, but I'm still balancing that out with more empties. So let's talk about some of the lip empties. Okay, these were my two main lip products this past month. The Baby Lips in, does this have a shade number? Oh, it expired in a year that I don't want to say. And the NARS, this was the birthday sample from last year. Here I just keep referring to past videos I did, but basically I tried to DIY a lip balm. I poured that other lip balm into both of these containers, and I really, really did not enjoy it. So this one I managed to finish up because there's not that much space for product in here, so I think it only took like a week or two. And then this one I actually just like got rid of the product, like the DIY lip balm, because I was like, I cannot do it. And then I actually managed to finish off the product itself, like the Baby Lips one, not the other e.l.f. one. Haven't decided what to do about that e.l.f. product, to be honest, if I should completely declutter what's remaining of it or not. So many weird containers here. Okay, and then I had put the remainder of the NARS lip balm in this little other Lush container, and I managed to finish that off. And then I put the remainder of the Baby Lips lip balm, see if you can keep up, into this container as well. And that part I have not finished, so that I will be working on for a little while. But, you know, I finished this product. This is what's important. I finished the tube itself. So, you know, I better have this finished for next time. But it's so weird to see the color that it is, you know? It's like this weird grapey color that does not look at all natural. Like, obviously, it didn't look natural in the tube, but in here, it's just much more stark because it's in a clear container. So, not really looking forward to finishing that, but it shouldn't be hard, so I should be able to do it. Okay, let's talk about the last makeup declutter that I have to talk about here. Yes, this is a cream blush. This is from Revlon. It is the color Charmed. I had this in my chopping block. I don't know why it always looks so dirty. It's so gross. That's honestly probably part of the reason why I wanted to declutter it. I had this in my chopping block and I ultimately decided to keep it, but sometime after that, I think like a month after that, I gave myself some more time to use it, and I decided ultimately that I should not be keeping it. So I've decided to declutter this. Maybe Shauna will want it. If not, I'm gonna put it on buns, obviously after like cleaning it out, scraping off that top layer. I think it's just because I use a brush with it, and somehow the brush, like my powder blushes don't look like that. So anyways, apologies, that is pretty gross. But yeah, I'm just oh, I'm so happy to have this out of my collection. I still do have 2 cream blushes, but I like those 2 a lot more than I like this potted one. So I feel a lot better about that. I do have 2 more makeup empties, and they're actually both lip liners. What are the chances? Okay, these 2 lip liners. First one, this is one of my very favorite lip liners. I've just found that I like a neutral lip the best. Maybe it's not that I like it the best, because I do love this color and I do love a good red, but I think I'm most likely to wear a neutral lip out of the house. I mean, you know, maybe that's kind of a universal sentiment. It's more practical, because if it fades away, like, it doesn't make a huge difference. Whereas if I'm wearing this out of the house and it starts to fade away, it's like super obvious. It'll be, you know what I mean. So anyways, this was one of my favorite lip liners. I think this was, like, my mom had it. It was just a little sample, so she gave it to me. It's from Estee Lauder. It actually says Automatic Lip Pencil Duo Refill / Recharge. So I think this was just supposed to be a refill for something, but I didn't have the original thing. I don't know. In any case, it was a beautiful color for my lips. I do have 2 other lip liners that are fairly similar color, so it's not like I'll be missing this. I'll just be moving on to those. Let me see. Yeah, I can swatch a little bit for you here. So just a really nice neutral pink color that matched my lips really well. But all that being said, I'm really happy to have this out of my collection because it's so tiny. Like, it seems ridiculous that it took me that long, and because I do have those 2 others, I'm happy to just move on to those. The other one, so funny enough, I feel like I only used up about half of this, but what happened was it started to really dry up. So I would only reach for it, I don't know, like once every couple of months, maybe once a month at most, because I do have another lip liner that I prefer, like a red lip liner that I prefer. So this would just come out sometimes, and every time I used it, I would have to sharpen it quite a bit in order to get rid of like the dryness. So this is me trying to use it right now, like really pressing hard. And you can imagine doing that on my lips, like it just was not a good feeling. And then I realized that this entire thing just like came out. So that was all that's left, and it's time to call it quits. I was able to get 1 more use out of this last weekend, or maybe it was when I last filmed, because I had a red lip. But yeah, I'm saying goodbye to it. And again, I have another red lip liner, so I'm happy with this leaving my collection. Yeah, and if you saw my full makeup collection videos at the end of 2021, you will know that my lip product category is like the most out of hand, because I'm not really able to finish those off at the same pace that I'm able to get through foundations or concealers, let's say. So the fact that I have so many lip products that I'm finally getting out, it feels really good. But again, I really do need to work on that category even more than I have been lately. So those are all of the makeup products that I'm going to be talking about in this video. Those are my empties and my declutters, and I'm really happy with how many empties I had compared to declutters this month, even if it was that, you know, some of these were samples or smaller sizes. Whatever, I'm not taking that into consideration. I'm just happy with the progress that I've made. So let's move on to skincare and hair care stuff. All right, here we go. Still got quite a bit of stuff in here. This is not including the makeup stuff, but I mean, it makes sense because makeup is usually not very bulky, whereas skincare and hair care stuff are a lot bulkier. But let's start with this. This is the Bioderma, you know, micellar water. This is a fairly well-known product. I feel like I used this like a while back. I had one of these in the past. Maybe it was even a sample size. I don't know. But I had used it before. I was familiar with it, and I didn't really like it. I think it's because I have just found what works best for me, and it is the specific product. I can go grab it. But I've just found that that's the best like makeup remover second step type of product. And I didn't really like the smell of this, and I found that it reacted strangely with the sort of cloth product that I use to remove my makeup. And it took me so long to get through because obviously this is a huge container. It's 500 milliliters. So I kept having to take breaks with it. I would like use this for a month, and then use something else and then bring this back in. I don't think it was breaking out my skin or anything. I just didn't like the experience I had with using it. This is not cruelty free. I did get this from Buns. Like someone had a brand new container. I think I paid her like $10 or maybe $15 for it. I don't usually pay for things on Buns, but occasionally I will pay for things on Buns if it's, you know, cheaper than going out to the store and buying it, obviously, and they don't like anything on my profile. I've actually found that Crest white strips is a great way to do that because Crest is not cruelty free, and that's something that like I will be using in perpetuity. Like I will always need to whiten my teeth on a semi-regular basis. So yeah, Buns has been great for that. Let me go grab the Pacifica one. Okay, this is the Kale Water Micellar Cleansing Tonic from Pacifica. This is 236 milliliters, so about half of the size of this, and I like the scent of this one better. I like how it makes my skin feel. I like the bottle. It just like makes me happy, the colors. So yeah, highly recommend this one. Would not recommend this one. Will not repurchase, even if it is on Buns. Okay, let's do another couple skincare products. So this is the La Roche-Posay Pure Vitamin C10. Wow, I feel like I finished this a long time ago. But again, it was probably like a month and a half. So this was the first vitamin C serum that I ever tried. My friend decluttered it to me, and I think she'd already had it for a little while at that point, maybe like 2 months. And this goes bad really quickly, like between 1 and 3 months. So this was already, I think, not very effective by the time I got it. And I just don't really know if serums are for me. Yeah, I just find it an extra step that I can never really tell if it does anything to my skin, and it was a hassle. So I won't be trying vitamin C again, something that I need to use on like a pretty much daily basis and that will go bad within a month or two. That's just way too high maintenance for me in the skincare department, so would not recommend. Another one that I would not really recommend, this is the Body Shop Himalayan Charcoal Purifying Glow Mask. This was just a little sample size that was my partner's, and I did not really enjoy this. I found that it kind of like burned my skin. I know that to a certain extent, like most face masks that are supposed to be really like deep and purifying or clarifying, I do feel like tingles, or I feel like they are doing something. I don't know what, but this one would just like really sting, and that didn't feel great. So I was just happy to get this used up and out, and it was also very like chunky. Like there were pieces of, I think, seaweed in it. I'm not really sure. Didn't enjoy that experience. Glad when it was over. Okay, those are the only skincare products, but I do have one hair care one and then some other misc things. So this is another Body Shop Banana Truly Nourishing Conditioner. I haven't really liked anything I've tried from the Body Shop except for my face wash. I love this one face wash that I use, the tea tree one, and everything else I found from them I just haven't really liked. Again, this was a sample, but because it's conditioner, it took so long to get through, especially with my shorter hair. It used to be a lot longer. Again, this was a present for my partner that he did not use. God, I cannot wait to be through all of his products. And I didn't really like the scent. It was like very banana-y. Also, the texture I did not like at all. It was like thick and goopy, but slippery. Not a good experience. Would not recommend. But now that I finished that, I can finally use the Amika conditioners that I got as part of the birthday gift. So that's exciting because I was holding out until I was done that. Let's move on to the misc stuff. This was a nail polish remover. This was just like a generic one. I don't even know if I bought this one or if my mom bought it and I like took it from her because she doesn't use nail polish. This is Q-Tex Care. I literally have nothing to say about this. It was a nail polish remover. I find that they all work pretty much exactly the same. I've since replaced this with a Quo one because Quo is cruelty free, and that was the only one that I could find accessible at the drugstore that was cruelty free. So nail polish remover. I do my nails like probably once a month. I don't use this very often, so this lasted me literally years, and the next one probably will as well. Deodorant. This is Dove 0% aluminum coconut and pink jasmine scent. I literally just got this because somebody had 2 brand new ones of this on Buns that they were getting rid of, and I needed just like a basic deodorant, so I have a backup of this one. I liked it. I have nothing great or negative to say. I feel like I've never had particularly strong opinions about deodorant. Other than my stink bug deodorant, I have strong negative feelings towards that one. If you know, you know. But yeah, moving on to the next one. Okay, the rest of this is so miscellaneous. This is just random. Hello, activated charcoal epic whitening toothpaste. I enjoy this. Leaping Bunny certified. It's charcoal, so that was cool. I like that we're seeing that in like not just sort of homemade organic toothpaste, although do I really know if it actually does anything or makes a difference? No, obviously not. And then, okay, the last like actual product, I feel like this is gonna be a little bit of an explanation. Basically, I've been struggling with like soap, like hand soap for a while, not knowing what to do, what is like the most ethical / sustainable thing to do for a while. So for a while I was buying from the Bare Home, like I was getting refills at a store that is close to me, but I would have to like schlep out there and bring home this heavy soap, and also it's like pretty expensive. I loved it. Like I love the Bare Home, but yeah, it was expensive. So I was trying to see if there's something else to do. I'm trying out Blue Land currently, but I didn't want to buy their like containers because I was like, I have so many soap containers, I don't need another one. So I was like, I'll just use one of the like Bath and Body Works foaming soap containers and put it in there. But I don't buy from Bath and Body Works, so I asked my friend who does, and she gave me this one. This is the White Bean Champagne Toast. Unfortunately, this is not a foaming hand soap container, and so it literally, like, it wasn't foaming. It was just like liquid. Oh my god, what is on my hand? What have I been touching? It was literally just like very, very thin liquid until my friend finished an actual foaming container. And so now we're using a foaming container. It was very confusing. If Blue Land wants to sponsor me, that would actually be great. I would be a fan of that. But in the meantime, we're just using these makeshift Bath and Body Works containers for our soap. But now I can say goodbye to this. I just had to leave for an hour and a half, so I'm actually not sure the exact last thing I said. But that is pretty much everything. The other two things in this bag are just like containers, and these are not empties, but I just thought I would mention them very briefly. I do have a hard time getting rid of nice packaging. This is just the Urban Decay All Nighter Long Lasting Setting Spray, which is like not nice. It's just that I hadn't used it yet, so I kept it in the container. But this is the Naked Heat Urban Decay palette packaging, which is one of my favorite palettes, and I just kept it because I really liked it, but I really don't need to. Like, I've had this for years now at this point. I wonder if it says an expiration date. Probably on the palette itself. It's probably like 12 months or something dumb. But yeah, it's time to get rid of this packaging. Oh, 24 months. Okay, 2 years. I've had it for longer than 2 years, but that's no surprise. Yeah, okay. Wow. Good job, me. That was everything. Those were all of my makeup, empties and declutters, and skincare, etc. empties and declutters. So thank you for watching. This was actually quite a long video. I feel pretty proud of myself for having finished all this stuff. I feel like it's more than normal, but I don't think that I will be doing as well in the next update of this series, because September is just, it's going to be an amazing month. But the main thing is TIFF, and like for those 11 days, I'm going to be doing like my favorite makeup. I'm going to be doing the makeup I want. I'm not going to be focusing on my like project pan or things that I feel like I need to finish up. I'm just going to reach for what I want to, essentially, and then I have a lot of other like social things coming up. So yeah, I don't expect to get through too many things. Ooh, forgot to mention, I'm not wearing bronzer today. Can you tell? I bet you can't. I bet you wouldn't have guessed. But of course, I do these every 2 months, so I have until the end of October to finish some stuff. And there are a few things I'm almost done. Well, for one thing, like this lip balm in here. So yeah, hopefully I will still have a couple of things to discuss 2 months from now. But yeah, that is it for this video. And of course, I cannot forget a book that I've been reading lately. So let's talk about that. I did check if I had talked about this book before because I wasn't sure. I actually started it back in May, and usually it does not take me longer than, you know, a couple weeks max to finish a book, but this was intentional. I read Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen, and for a while it was my subway book. So what I mean by that is, because I live like very, very downtown Toronto, I can walk most places, but occasionally I will have to take the subway. So when I did, I would always bring this book in my bag because it's very like small and compact. I actually don't have it anymore. It was my mom's copy. I brought it back to her. So I would only read it when I went on the subway. which was not a ton. And so it was taking me forever to get through. So eventually I just decided, okay, let's just make this my like regular reading book until it's done, because 3-4 months to read a book, that's just like ridiculous. By the end, you forget what happened at the beginning. You forget character names. So I wouldn't recommend reading it that way, but I really enjoyed it. I was really surprised. I had read Pride and Prejudice, I think back in high school, and then I read Emma before the movie came out at the beginning of 2020, and both of those were like okay reading experiences. I mean, it took me a long time. Like, it's just harder to read that kind of writing, but this one actually went down a lot smoother. I really enjoyed it, and I get it. Like, I get why Jane Austen is such a classic. Like, her stories are great. Her characters are so witty. Like, the way that she's written them, the sort of like winks to the audience, very impressive. Like, how it doesn't feel contemporary, but you know, not very much has changed because at the heart of these books, like, it's about people's relationships. It's about, you know, being social. It's about your family. It is about love. So these are sort of things that are constants through the decades, through the centuries, you know? So I really loved that. And then I watched the movie adaptation, which I really enjoyed as well. My main gripe with the book is that there's like 3 families. There's not that many characters, and everyone in a family has the same last name because, of course, wives took their husband's last name. So you've got a family of, let's say, you know, parents and then children, and then you've also got a brother or a cousin who also happens to have the same last name. So you've got like 7 people with the last name Dashwood, and you could potentially have 2 Mrs. Dashwoods if it's like the mother. So then there's like 3 different Mr. Dashwoods and 2 different Mrs. Dashwoods and then 2 Miss Dashwoods, and these people are not referred to by their first names. Like, that was just not polite. It wasn't proper. And so throughout the book, it would be like, and then Mr. Dashwood did this, and I would be left thinking, well, which Mr. Dashwood? Who is Mr. Dashwood? It didn't help that, you know, by the end of the book, I had forgotten who people were by the beginning. So yeah, that was my only issue with it. I don't really know how you get around that, but definitely watching the movie made that more clear because, you know, you recognize faces. So I would definitely recommend this. My favorite Jane Austen reading experience to date. I will probably read Persuasion in another 2 or 3 years. I'm just gonna make this a regular thing until I get through all of them. But yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have an amazing September, amazing fall, a really good back to school season if you are going back to school. If you'd like to keep up with what I'm doing, I will link my personal Instagram and my makeup Instagram down below. And yeah, I will talk to you next week. Bye, guys.